Well, in some ways, it's not that different to how I would approach a lot of people. I think even though hospitals are really alien environments to all of us, really, even after a decade of working in them. Um, so I think uh, with anyone, I always want to know what's a helpful way that I can communicate with them. I guess if someone has identified as being autistic, then uh, I like to acknowledge that, and depending on the rapport I've been able to establish with them, I will more often than not, um, identify myself as being neurodivergent or being autistic with them, so uh, that they can feel comfortable. In the hope that that would sort of make them feel comfortable with me. But I think, for a lot of people coming into hospital, you're surrounded by uh, clinicians who speak a very different language, who we operate in a very different way that, normal people do in the real world. And our perception of time and risk and, process is really quite alien for any other sort of space in our community. So the questions I ask people who identify as autistic are often really similar to the questions I ask everyone else. What is a good way? How can I communicate with you effectively? What is like a helpful amount of information for you to have? Um, you know, how do I know? If you're not able to tell me, is there a way that I can know that you are feeling comfortable or not with, um, the situation at hand? Um, do you have strategies that you can use if things are feeling difficult, or even just, is there anything that, we as your treatment team, and I make sure I always include myself when talking about everyone that this person may encounter in the hospital. Is there anything that we can know which will mean that we can provide you with better care? The control to actually tell us, yeah, how we can provide them with the most appropriate care.